Hey everybody, he's Tony George. I'm Scott Sprouse, and we're talking SEC college basketball. Saturday afternoon, the rematch.
The big one.
Auburn and Lexington to take on those Kentucky Wildcats. And we're looking at a line right now, probably about 5 by the time this one comes out. No line as we're talking about the basketball game. Kentucky in a little bit of revenge here. They lost to Auburn 75-66 in that first meeting. And it was a case of Auburn pulling away down the stretch for the most part, Tony. Listen, they scored 141 points, but I like these two teams on the defensive end, both of them, especially Kentucky. And I'll say this much, they did score 141, but defenses played well. You're talking about, I think Auburn hit like 42% from the inside the three-point arc from the two-point shot, and then you had Kentucky hitting about 43% also. So both teams really picked it up on the defensive end. I think we're in for another defensive game here.
Well, let me give you the exact numbers from the last game.
Cool.
I wrote them down so I don't forget. I want to be thorough. We want to be thorough here at DocSports.com. The game that Auburn won, which is shocking, 75-66, they won by 9. They shot 35% from two-point range from the floor in general.
Well, that's not from two-point.
Right.
That's overall.
Overall, 35%.
So let's be. You said you wanted to be exact, and then you go throwing numbers off like that.
You know, I'm confused because I'm intimidated by how good-looking you are. But nonetheless, Auburn 35%, 26%. But here's the killer. They shot 44 free throws in that game versus 24 for Kentucky. And if you remember watching that game, they got a little homered, Kentucky did. They're not going to be happy about it. Conversely, though, Kentucky shot 41% and 38% and 83% from the free throw line in that game. So it was kind of an interesting game.
Sure.
When you look at the score, I think it was kind of skewed.
Yeah.
You know, really. Kentucky had some bad luck down the stretch in that ball game here, but you've got the number 1 and number 2 team. What you have here, in my opinion, Scott, is a coaching mismatch. I am not a big Bruce Pearl fan at all, and I think John Calipari is a great basketball coach this time of year. This is when he settles his team in. He's currently sitting at 13-2 in the SEC, followed by Auburn in the second place at 11-4. He's got Tennessee and Florida on deck for the Wildcats here, and they got these guys at home here. This is a win that probably will get him the number 1 seed, even if he splits the last 2 games, and he knows it, and his teams know it, and they're avenging a loss here. I'm not going to be afraid to lay a number here, and this thing that Auburn does, Scott, where they get way down and then they come back in every game and they win in the final 2 minutes is not going to continue. They've had 4 overtime games in their last 9 games. I am not high on Auburn right now the way they're being coached, but I'm high on Kentucky the way they're being coached. And I also think Kentucky's going to play some really good defense.
You said you're high on Kentucky. I think you're high in general, not like you Bruce Pearl, buddy. So we're going to disagree there.
I don't like Bruce Pearl. You know, I don't like him.
Hey, everybody's got a right to their opinion. Even if they're wrong. I'm kidding.
Okay.
I just happen to like Bruce Pearl a little bit more than I do, or a little bit more than Tony does. And I think it's coaching that got him those wins in those tight games that they won. However, having said that, I did go against Auburn, and I played those Mizzou Tigers a couple of weeks ago when they were at home on a Saturday afternoon, and Mizzou won the game outright.
How do you lose to Missouri? That's great coaching.
Well, yeah,
how do you lose to
Missouri? It was
Missouri?
at Columbia. You know about Columbia.
You get a lap dance with the Rhino with a fistful of hundreds, and all of a sudden they're beating Bruce Pearl. Come on.
All right, what was the three-point shooting for Auburn in that game as a point to all this?
26%.
26%. Okay, that's the problem with Auburn. They cannot shoot a lick from the deep perimeter. You've got 2 good defensive teams. Auburn's strong on defense. Kentucky's fantastic. Look at the defensive metrics. They're fantastic right down the line on the defensive end of the court. And that's why Kentucky's got a better chance, not going to really break any news here, to go much deeper in the NCAA tournament than does Auburn. Auburn, I've got them in my top 40, Kentucky in my top 25.
Yeah.
Here's the situation here. I think those metrics, which talk about defense on both teams, Kentucky being even better, playing at home, wanted to clamp down on defense this time. Auburn's inability to shoot the 3, Tony,
they can't.
I think it stays under the total. I think a solid under is the play here between these 2 teams.
Well, to get along with Scott, says I made him mad about Bruce Pearl. I'll agree with you on the under. Last week we did 2 totals plays on our marquee matchups. We went 2-0. We did a totals play on our other marquee matchup. So let's just stay with that theme, and I'll agree with the under. But I think Kentucky pulls out a little bit of can of whoop ass here too as well. Hey, don't forget, we got a free $60 waiting for you right there at DocSports.com. Scott's got some XFL this weekend.
6-2 so far, free and premium. Let's keep it
And
going.
I am launching my XFL this weekend. And we both got NASCAR. Tune into our NASCAR video as well. So get over to Doc's, claim that free $60 to the link in the description below, and get yourself paid this weekend.